For 14 years, Formula One has been addicted to a single button. A simple flap in the rear wing that sparked endless debates, created artificial excitement, but ultimately saved the sport from boring processions. We called it the drag reduction system, or simply DRS. But as the engines cooled down in Abu Dhabi this week, we didn't just say goodbye to the 2025 season, we attended the funeral of DRS. The era of opening the wing and driving past is officially over. But what is replacing it isn't just a new rule. It is the most complex, controversial, and potentially chaotic system in the history of motorsport. If you thought DRS was artificial, you are not ready for the manual override era. Today, we are analyzing the data from the postseason tests and the 2026 technical regulations to explain why your favorite driver might be terrified of what comes next. First, we need to clear up a massive misunderstanding circulating on social media. People are calling the new Active Aerodynamics the new DRS, but that is fundamentally wrong. In 2026, the concept of a DRS zone does not exist. Instead, we have two global modes: Z mode for corners where high downforce is needed, and X mode for straights where the car transforms into a low-drag bullet. Here is the catch: every driver, regardless of the gap to the car ahead, will switch to X mode on the straights. The leader gets it, the backmarker gets it, everyone gets it. So, if everyone has low drag, how do you overtake? This is where the manual override mode comes into play, and it is a completely different beast compared to DRS. In the old days, you just got a speed boost. Now, it is an energy war. The 2026 regulations dictate that as a car reaches 290 km/h, the electrical deployment from the 350 kilowatt motor must start tapering off. By the time the leading car hits a certain speed, their electrical power is significantly reduced, effectively hitting an aerodynamic wall. However, the chasing car, if they are within 1 second, gets access to override. This allows them to keep deploying full electrical power all the way up to 337 km/h. The difference isn't just aerodynamic anymore, it is about raw horsepower at high speeds. This sounds exciting on paper, but teams like Red Bull and Ferrari have raised alarming concerns after their simulator runs. The problem is what engineers are calling the Mosquito Effect. Because the leading car runs out of electrical steam at 290 km/h and the chasing car flies past them at 337 km/h, overtaking might become too easy on long straights like Baku or Monza. But the real chaos happens immediately after. The driver who just made the overtake has now burned through their battery to complete the move. They are now the leader, meaning they will be energy depleted and vulnerable on the very next straight. This creates a scenario where drivers might actively try not to lead the race until the final lap, turning Formula One into a strange strategic bicycle race. Max Verstappen was one of the first to criticize this, suggesting that on tracks like Monza, drivers might lift off on the straights just to stay behind and save battery for the detection point. Imagine the fastest cars on the planet playing a game of after you, no after you, at 300 km/h. It changes the DNA of a racing driver from a hunter into a calculator. You aren't just driving the track, you are managing a very limited energy budget that punishes you for being in front. We saw the first glimpses of this reality during the postseason tests in Abu Dhabi. While the mule cars were modified 2025 chassis, they were simulating the 2026 drag levels and engine profiles. The visual of front and rear wings actively flapping open and closed entering corners was jarring for many observers. It looks mechanical, almost biological, like the car is breathing. But the data gathered here is crucial. Mercedes and McLaren were seen running extensive programs specifically targeting this override phase, trying to understand how much battery needs to be saved to defend against an attack. The fear is that the defensive driver has no tools left. With DRS, you could defend the inside line. With manual override, the speed delta is so massive at the end of the straight that defense might be impossible. This shifts the skill set away from defensive positioning and purely towards energy deployment strategy. The FIA insists these rules are tweakable, and they have reduced the engine power slightly to prevent the cars from spinning their wheels in fourth gear on the straights, but the core philosophy remains. We are entering an era of active manipulation of the air, where the car you see at the start of the straight is physically different from the car at the end of it. So, is DRS truly dead? Yes. But the ghost of artificial racing hasn't left the paddock. It has just evolved into a stronger, more complicated spirit. The 2026 season promises cars that are smaller and lighter, which is what we all wanted, but the cost might be the purity of the racing itself. Will we see brilliant tactical battles or just highway passing where the car in front is a sitting duck? The Abu Dhabi tests have given us the numbers, but the real answer will only come when the lights go out in Melbourne in 2026. Until then, the debate rages on. I want to hear your perspective. Is manual override the revolution F1 needs to stay relevant, or is it a step too far towards video game mechanics? Let me know in the comments below. This is Formula Perspective, where we don't just watch the race, we analyze the future. Make sure to subscribe and hit the bell icon, because the off-season is just getting started, and there is a lot more data to uncover.